in the Monty Python movie Life of Brian. And it starts, remember that one? What have the Romans ever done for us? And then they go on and they name a few things: the aqueducts, sanitation, the roads, irrigation, medicine, wine, public baths. But what have the Romans ever done for us? And that's pretty much what we've heard from the Labour opposition that can't see the wood from the trees, Mr. Speaker, with all these questions about the government and whether or not there's a plan. And that list is so long, Mr. Speaker, that I haven't got time to go through it. So they're either asleep at the wheel or they truly believe there's one big lever you can pull. And in fact they would, wouldn't they? Because in 9 years, they spent that 9 years pulling two large levers: tax and spend. Tax and spend, Mr. Speaker. But we know that there isn't a big lever to pull, and it is about things like cycleways and oil and gas exploration and lower taxes and increasing free trade agreements, and it's certainly about moderate changes to our labour laws. But you'd think that every worker had been chained up and sent to the salt mines when very moderate changes were announced. Such was the over-the-top reaction from our friends on the left. But amongst the din of disgust, there was one voice of left-wing reason.
Who was that?
That voice said, well, I don't have huge objections to these changes on fourth-week holiday, as long as the decision is freely arrived at by the worker and the worker is not pressed into it. Then if somebody chooses to do that, I'm quite relaxed about it. And who was that? That was the Leader of the Opposition, Mr. Speaker, Phil Goff, a lone voice of reason, while the rest of the Labour opposition, who was so happy to jump on the bandwagon and flog what were very moderate proposed changes. And they said, when the 90-day legislation come in, that they would name and shame. And they've had opportunity after opportunity. Ms Fenton telling us terribly sad stories, but not a single workplace has been named by a single member of the opposition. So I want members of the opposition to take a call and say why they think so little of the workers of New Zealand, Mr. Speaker, why they can't be trusted to make their own minds up about trading in a fourth week, or why they don't want to give workers a chance. The marginalised workers, the immigrants who are saying, give us a go, because that's what the flexibility in the 90-day probation period gives us. And better still, Mr. Speaker, why don't the Labour dust off their bus? Remember the bus? The bus that said axe the tax that they wouldn't commit to axe? Why don't they get out the bus, get their guitars out and sing their Gingangooli songs all the way to the vineyards of Marlborough and the electrical companies of Christchurch and the salmon farms of the Mackenzie and the biotech companies in Dunedin and say, why are they so down on employees? Why will they not give hard-working workers a go, a chance to say, give me a go? And better still, take the bus all the way to Tiwai. Take the bus down to the aluminium smelter and tell the 730 workers down there, 725 of them who are not members of the union, who contribute hundreds of millions of dollars into the Southland economy, whose workplace health and safety is as good as it gets in that industry, whose electricity is almost entirely renewable, Mr. Speaker, and say, why are they so down on employees, Mr. Speaker? Because there is a plan, Mr. Speaker. It is about flexible labour laws. It is about less regulation. It is about enabling employees to enjoy tax cuts that leave 82.5 cents in every dollar in the pockets of 73% of workers. Can you hear them? They're still going. What's the plan? Where's the plan? Too busy yelling and nobody listening. It is about those things. It is about lots of little things, Mr. Speaker, and it's definitely about giving employees a chance to be flexible, chances that are given to 29 out of 30 countries in the OECD, many of them that are run by left-wing governments. And I think that's not a bad model to follow.
I call